Today, on Be Something Wonderful, manifesting tipping point, where your fulfilled desires fall on your lap. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Big video for you today. One of you had the question of time. That, Tom, I just want everything, all that I desire, to fall on my lap. I don't want to wait anymore. Why does it take so much time? And then another comment, I think it was on either the Facebook group or on the channel, about another coach telling somebody that depending on the length of their imaginal scene, that determines how long it takes to manifest in 3D reality. Well, we're going to talk about all of these ideas today and more. Remember, nothing takes time. Everything is here and now. If you can imagine it, desire it, think of it, see it, assume it, it exists. It must exist. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be able to think about it. You wouldn't even be able to imagine it. You wouldn't even be able to assume it unless that reality, that manifested, fulfilled reality existed within you here and now. And then I think one of you were saying, well, give me some practical steps. That's just not practical. And remember, that's the 3D lower mind that feels separate and limited, separate from what they desire, and feels that limitations, right? It's not about getting practical. It's not about getting real. You are reality, right? There's only you. You're the one and only reality. So I want to talk about these ideas today and more. And I want to open it up with this subscriber on the channel. Remember, again, nothing takes time. It takes awareness. So you're experiencing what you're experiencing because who and what you're aware of being. Because who you say you are. That's why you're seeing or experiencing whatever that life experience is in your 3D linear experience. That's all created by who and what you say you are. It's law. So, and this subscriber says, an old coach told me that an imaginary act of 2 to 3 seconds manifests itself faster than, say, for example, 10 to 15 seconds or whatever time. If I imagine it short, it manifests quickly. If I imagine it a little longer, it takes longer, right? Claiming that the bridge of incidence is greater. Remember, and you question that, and you ought to. Remember your source, your reality. Nothing takes time. There is no time. Time's an experience of change in that changeless reality. So everything's here and now. So that's what's true for that old coach, right? And it's true for you if you accept those assumptions. That those are assumptions of a specific 3D personality, right? And you're accepting that. But remember, everything is you. Everything is coming from you. So if you accept that as your truth, as your reality, then that will be your experience. But I want to tell you, it's absolutely irrelevant. The time of the scene is absolutely irrelevant. You are all that is no matter what. It's irrelevant. Whether it's 10 to 15 seconds or 2 to 3 seconds, whether it's a split second, because there are no seconds. When you have an image, it's real. And you're all images. You're all realities. You're all possibilities. So it's not about time. You're already all those possibilities. That is absolutely irrelevant. That's true for the point of consciousness or the person that assumes it. That becomes their reality. That becomes their experience. Do you see how it makes no sense when you're looking out there, asking others, how did they do it? How did they affirm it? What did they experience? How much time? None of those are facts. Those are all experiences of reality. And there's no truth to any of it other than what you say is true for you. You are all realities. You are all possibilities. No one can be aware for you. You are awareness of being. You determine who and what you're aware of being. who and what you are. No one can tell you who you are. When you start allowing others to tell you who and what you are, then that becomes your life experience. Do you see it? This is very equivalent. Claiming that the bridge of incidence is greater, this whole idea of greater or lesser or longer or shorter is all coming from that limited 3D personality. That's where you're getting that from. The time of the scene is absolutely irrelevant. You are it. Time, length, size, longer, shorter, greater, lesser is all absolutely irrelevant. That's all relative to that 3D personality, that 3D focus. That's all created as an experience of change in that changeless reality. You get to determine what all those mean to you. It's all here and now. And so all of that, right? You are it. When you say the word, I am, it's absolutely no conditions. It's unconditional. There are no conditions whatsoever. No conditions. That's why that didn't resonate with you. Anyone that tells you or puts a condition on that you have to do it this way, that you have to affirm this, that this is the best way to manifest everything you want fast. Those are all conditions. Those are all conditional assumptions based on that person's point of view. And remember, you're the only one that determines what to see, what to be, what your experience is. You're the only power and authority over your reality, period. No one can be aware for you. No one manifests for you. They can see you and they can create their experience of you, of their reality. Remember, every point of consciousness creates their own world and their own versions of themselves and others. So you get to determine that, right? When we talk about healing in scripture and any type of healings, remember the whole idea is seeing that person or seeing that reality the way you would like it to be. So you're not really healing anything, you're shifting to the reality where that person's healed or where you're healed or where you're complete. You're seeing things as you would like them to be. Right? And some spiritual teachers talk about holding the vibration of the healed person. Sure, right? But remember, what does that really mean? It means you're identifying with your ideal as the ideal point of consciousness that's seeing the world healed or seeing others healed or seeing yourself healed or whole or complete. Because I think in one of you, on one of the short videos, someone mentioned, please manifest world peace and a cure for cancer. And I get it. It was they were sort of being cute with that, right? This idea. But remember, where does that come from? No one can manifest. There's not one world. So you're always going to see a world, that person who made that comment, where you're looking for a cure and you're looking for world peace, but you never see it. Because you believe you've got to manifest, it's going to be manifested. You want others to manifest that. You see the world that you decide to see, period. There's no other exceptions. You create your world, all of it. That's in many videos, so I don't want to kind of go over that. Remember, there's over 1,500 videos that has answered all of these questions many times, but I'm always happy to answer it again, come from a different perspective. So the time of the scene is absolutely irrelevant. You are it. You are that, all that is. Time, length, size, longer, shorter, greater, lesser is absolutely irrelevant, right? You are it. When you just say the word, I am, that's it. There are no conditions on I am whatsoever. No matter what someone else or something else says, no matter what the conditions out there say, no matter what your changing thoughts and feelings say, no matter what the circumstances say, no matter what others say, no matter what the world says, you determine it. It's your world. It's your reality. It's you. I am. The tipping point or the point of power to manifest anything is here and now. That's the tipping point. Here and now. Stop waiting for some point that is always in the future. You are the tipping point. You are reality. It all tips here and now at this present point of power. I want to cover this today. the world, others, your past, your changing thoughts and emotions, changing appearances, changing circumstances, changing conditions are what they are because of what and who you assume you are right now in this very moment. Pause there. And we've said this in infinite ways, and we're going to continue to infinitely unpack this. But all of that, the circumstances, the thoughts and feelings and everything else that you are experiencing are what they are because of what and who you assume you are right now at this very moment. So that's reality creation. It's law. It's law. Your point of power is always right now. But as you look for practical steps, or you look for others, or you're seeking success stories so you can feel better about it and feel more confident about your manifestations, or as you go from channel to channel looking for the answer, or believe that it doesn't work. You create that experience. Your point of power is always right now, and you are all that is. You are all of those things. Create the identity or the frame. I call this the identity frame. But create that identity or frame of reality, I am, that image or new memory of who and what you would like to be. And then insert it anywhere and everywhere in your remembered linear horizontal experience. Remember, we're not saying don't be focused in on 3D reality. Remember that quote that I used in yesterday's video from the show The Chosen, that one of you, I think, posted on the Facebook group or on the channel, a short 60-second clip from an early season of The Chosen, where Jesus is having a conversation with John, and says, John, you can give me some recommendations on my reading. And John goes, I couldn't. Not after yesterday, not after today. Remember, I talked about this yesterday. Believing that he's unworthy. And Jesus saying, well, what is who's worthy, right? Right? Who's worthy anyway? Right? In other words, the whole question of worthiness is for that 3D lower personality. You're completely unworthy by your birthright, by who you are, right? And then Jesus says to him, he goes, I'm a man, John. I'm a man, yet I am who I am. That's the power of yesterday's message. You can create that frame, that you can create that image or new memory of who and what you would like to be right now, and insert it anywhere and everywhere in your remembered linear horizontal experience. In other words, Jesus was saying that I am awareness in that 60-second clip that's in yesterday's video. And I left it in the description, a link to it, saying that I'm a man, I'm focused in on that 3D physical experience, but yet I am who I am, yet I can insert any memory, any image, any identity within this horizontal experience and express that, manifest that, experience that, create that as part of who I am. Because I am who I am. I am who I imagine myself to be, who I assume myself to be. I know that I am all realities, all identities, all possibilities, all potential. And I get to decide. That's powerful. So an image or assumption is the only reality right now. That's all remember, that's all you're seeing are your beliefs and assumptions and images that you decide you are. That's what you're seeing. A memory is a mental image. Remembering is an imaginal creative act. Thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs are images or memories of infinite aspects, identities, realities, versions of all that is and all that you are. That's what we mean by creation. That whole question about creation is finished, a paradox. And then, well, if creation's finished, then what are we creating? Remember, you're creating your experience of that finished creation, meaning when we say creation is finished, we mean all possibilities exist in probability. That there's nothing else but all that is. All that is all that is. But all that is must always be expanding at the same time, or it wouldn't be infinity. Infinity must be finished and expanding at the same time, or it wouldn't be infinity. There's no beginning, there's no end. But it's not unfinished. It's always expanding. It's always complete in every moment. It's complete absolute possibilities. It's all power, all knowing. It's all reality. But at the same time, there are no limits to that allness, that all that isness, that all reality. That's the paradox. You're still trying to understand it from the lower linear mind, that me that says, well, if creation's finished, then what are we creating? That's the lower linear mind trying to rationalize it, trying to look at the practical aspects of being an unlimited or limitless divine being. There's nothing practical about that. You're a divine being forevermore. You exist and will continue to exist as an absolutely limitless spirit. And you're trying to look at practical things about that, right? Remember, thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs are images or memories of infinite aspects, infinite identities, realities, versions of all that is or all that you are. So there you are as the center of that divine mind. And in that scene from The Chosen, Jesus says to him, I'm a man. I'm a man, yet I am who I am. Jesus in The Chosen, I am a man, John, yet I am who I am. In other words, I am having this physical experience. I am the Son of Man, but I'm also the Son of God. I'm one with all that is. I'm not less than it, but I'm not greater than it either. I am who I am. And I'm one with that allness. And I get to decide my experience, my linear horizontal experience, past, present, and future, gets determined by who I say I am right now. Do you see this? It's always just I am. It's not even I was or I will be. It's just I am. And who you decide you are right now, your focus, creates who you were and who you will be. In other words, because it's all you right now. I am, and I am. Past, present, and future. Those frames are being created by that imaginal frame, right? That frame that I talked about here, that identity frame, that you're always identifying with something. That identity frame as the Son of Man, one with all that is, or as the Son of God, I am who I am. Jesus here, I am awareness, identifying himself as the one and only reality, the one and only God, that gets to identify as the Son of Man and the Son of God with and whatever reality you desire, right? And that changes all time. It changes your identities in the past, present, and future. In other words, it rearranges reality. It rearranges all frames, all possibilities. You can create this new possibility, this new probability that's absolutely new. Yes, creation's finished. It's all existent potential. But you have infinite ways to experience that complete creation or that reality. And then the paradox is, that's how creation expands. So it's finished, but it's always expanding at the same time. I'm a man, yet I am who I am. Very powerful. The tipping point is not created by time or even the repetition and persisting in your desired end. We've talked about persisting in your end. Neville Goddard teaches it. Other spiritual teachers talk about that. Then we talked about ask-formations and robotic affirmations, about repetition, repeating, and we talked about frequency, returning to that desired state, right? We talked about all of this, but the tipping point's not really created by any of that. As I've said in other videos, God doesn't require repetition. God heard you the first time. God doesn't require you to persist. When God announces reality, it's done. God doesn't need to persist in it. God is reality. So are you. But the time and the repetition and the persisting is for you. It's for the physically focused you, right? It's for that doubtful, fearful, seemingly separate and limited you. That's why we talk about the idea of time, repetition, and persisting in the frequency of returning to your desired end. But that's only for you. The God in you, that greater identity, doesn't need that. Already knows it's done. So you can just stand in that knowing. The manifesting tipping point is created instantly in your imagining and remembering of your preferred and desired identity frame. Remember, you're not really creating or manifesting anything, you're remembering it. You're remembering as an infinite being, you're already all possibilities, all probabilities, all realities. And so even when we say remember, we only associate that as a linear experience of some past event. But all events exist right now. So you're not remembering a past event. You're just remembering an event of infinity, an event of all that you are. And you get to insert that anywhere in your linear horizontal experience. And wherever you insert that, whether it's in what you believe is the past experience, a present experience, or a future experience. In other words, whether you're imagining a past experience how you would have liked it to be, or the present, how you would like it to be, or the future, how you would like it to be. It's all created right now. Those images are not past, present, and future, but events or possibilities or probabilities of all that you are right now. So, but again, because we are focused in that 3D linear experience, then you can create that imaginal frame or that identity frame. And when you create that, you can insert it anywhere or nowhere specifically, but it changes all time. No matter where you insert it, it rearranges and changes all frames and identities of reality, past, present, and future. You change your entire experience of reality. So it's not so much about reprogramming your subconscious. I know there's a lot of talk, and we had a discussion with one of you on this. It's not really about that, although I know every spiritual teacher since the beginning of time, right, has talked about this idea. You are simply rearranging the frames of all that is and all that you are. So you're not really reprogramming anything, you're just rearranging reality. You're rearranging your experience of reality, your linear horizontal experience of reality. You're just moving frames around. And what's the best way to move frames around? Decide who and what you are in this present moment, because it changes everything. And yes, because we really believe in these past experiences and who we are, we talk about the idea of persisting in repetition. And it's taught that that's a way to reprogram or impress your subconscious, right? So that you can create that reality. But remember, everything's accepted by consciousness because everything is consciousness. Everything already exists in probability. So your subconscious isn't rejecting anything. It's about you rearranging frames of reality to decide who you are, what's your experience of reality right now. And yes, repetition can be powerful. Persisting can be powerful, right? All of that can be powerful. Frequently returning to that desired end. But remember, God doesn't need that. You're already it. That imagined reality is already created. Whether it's a 2 to 3 second imaginal scene or a 10 to 15 second or 15 minutes is irrelevant. It's all right now. The question is, who and what are you believing? Right? That's the power. You're just rearranging frames of reality. Your I am awareness, God, your higher self, doesn't require time, repetition, persistence to be in who it desires to be. It doesn't require that, right? It's done when you say the word I am, right? But your physically focused identity may require it, the me that's focused in that 3D linear physical reality, right? If you really believe that you're limited by that, it may require it. Remember in the healing of the centurion's servant, which I've used examples many times, when Jesus healed the centurion's servant, in other words, your I am awareness, when you're aware of that whole you, that healed you, that complete you, that identity of who and what you desire to be, Jesus says this, go your way. And as you have believed, let it be done for you. Let it be done for you. In other words, what's the interpretation of this? Go your way. In other words, have that linear horizontal experience. Follow the script of that horizontal linear reality. But as you're aware As you've believed really means as you've been aware, as you have remembered and imagined yourself to be, that will be done for you. That will be your experience. It's done, in other words. Do you see it? As you have been aware, as you have remembered yourself to be, as you have imagined yourself to be, as you have created that identity frame, that will be your experience. Just go your way in that knowing, in that awareness that you are that person you desire to be. And then it says this is really, it goes to this question of time and instant manifestations, or instantly being that person you desire to be. And it said in Scripture, and his servant was healed that same hour. In other words, when they say same hour, they mean instantly. They mean immediately, right? In other words, instantly, immediately shifting to the identities and realities. That was the tipping point. Do you see, it's not, tipping point's not about time, right? Or some sort of 3D physical momentum. It's already there. It means it's done. Go your way. Walk in that knowing, in that script of already knowing, no matter what the appearances are showing, no matter what you're thinking and feeling. And as you have believed, in other words, as you have been aware, or as you have remembered yourself to be, as you have imagined yourself and assumed and affirmed yourself to be, let it be done for you, meaning it's done. That's the tipping point. Your fulfilled desires fall on your lap in that tipping point. In the moment that you say, I'm not waiting, it's instant. I am that person I desire to be. No matter what the images, the appearances are showing me, the conditions are showing me, the circumstances are showing me, old coaches are telling me about imaginal scenes, or what other people are telling me what to affirm. No matter what anyone's experience has been, or success story, I am that I am. I am the only, one and only reality. I'm the one and only story that matters. Everything else is irrelevant. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, and for joining us on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel that has unique content. We have another video queued up for that channel. Plus, we have the live stream, our 6th live event to be broadcast on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel this year. Our 15th live event overall. This live event, this live stream event, will be held from here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful on June 23rd. Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time. We're going to come to you live answering your questions and comments that you have, right? And send those questions and comments to info@besomethingwonderful.com. Following that live stream, we're going to be going to Ecuador. We're going to be coming to you from Ecuador. So stay tuned. A lot more coming here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. With great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios. Until next time, see you soon.